Okay, I'm going to import my Illustrator file into Flash. Now, before I start doing that, the first thing I'm going to do is take the stage. Okay, so I just started with a brand new blank Flash file, and I used Action Scripting 3. Then underneath the Modify Document option inside of Flash is where I can change the dimension of the screen here. I'm going to use the same as what I used inside of Illustrator, 640 by 480 pixels. And then the frame rate, I don't know why it's at 30, but it's usually default 24, which is fine with me for right now. Oh, it was 30 because I was doing a video example before, but we'll get to the video example in a minute. In this case, I'm just going to use 640 by 480. I'm going to hit OK. Now, I'm going to import that Illustrator file, but I want it to be a movie clip, and then we'll actually have movie clips inside of movie clips. So to make that a movie clip before we actually import into the stage, I'm going to go Modify Document, or not Modify Document, but Insert New Symbol. And I'm actually going to start with a movie clip. So I'm going to actually take those pieces, and let's call this background graphics. Then I'm going to make it a movie clip right here, and I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to import my my Illustrator pieces by going under File, Import, Import to Stage, and I'm going to choose the Illustrator file that we have, if I could find it. It's coming up. It's coming close. I'm so close. It's this number 2 here, and the one I have, and I'll put this on the server so you can download it yourself. It's going to come up with a window, hopefully, if the computer doesn't crash here. It's going to come up with a window that sort of asks you some questions. So after it goes through and it'll get to this point, which is the import window from Flash, from Illustrator Flash. So as Photoshop would look pretty much the same here also. So convert layers to Flash layers. You can see here you can do keyframes and single Flash layer. So the keyframes would be if you want each layer to be on a separate frame, which I was talking about inside of Illustrator. But I really don't want to do that. I'm going to actually convert. I'm going to turn some of these triangles down here. I don't need all the individual pieces. But as you can see, each one of the layers is on the top level here. So what you can do is you can choose each layer and say create as a movie clip. And now it's asking you for an instance name. You really don't need to give it right now. We can actually give it to, we can apply instance name later if we really need one, and we'll probably need one for the logo, but not right now. The city. So you can select each layer and say create movie clip. So I'm importing this Flash or Illustrator file into Flash as a as into a symbol, as well as the pieces that I'm making will be symbols also. And that's what I'm doing here in the import window. You can convert them into symbols. In addition, you can actually import as a bitmap also. That as well as the artwork up here as a bitmap. And the reason why, a lot of times some of the artwork would actually be smaller if it's a JPEG instead of using vectors. And in this case, a lot of these are going to be rather big files because there's a lot of objects. And this probably would make it smaller, but I wouldn't be able to manipulate it as easily if it was a bitmap. So we're going to leave them all as vectors and bring them all in. And I'm going to hit OK. And it'll place them onto the stage just the way that we had them laid out inside of Illustrator here, and you can see it here. Again, the upper left corner is going to be the center point of this symbol. Okay, that's just the way that it puts it inside of the symbol. It always kind of brings things in with the upper left corner as the registration point. If you want to change that, there's a couple different ways of doing that. The easiest way would be to cut things and then paste them again. That'll actually put it in the center, or you can move them or do things like that. Let's see what we want to do here. Let's go to the properties window. So you can see 0, 0 is the upper left corner. Okay. So I don't know, maybe we can just eyeball it, bring them over there, and sort of, I just want it to be in the center somewhat. There you go. Okay, let's just look at what it did come into Flash. See, each one of my pieces is going to be a separate symbol. And the other thing it does is it takes each one of those movie clips and puts it onto a different layer, which we really want. The logo that we have right here, we really don't even want in here. It was just a piece of artwork. So what we could do is we could actually cut this by hitting Apple or Control X, and then delete this layer here. Let's remove it, and then make a new symbol by going to Insert New Symbol, and let's call it Logo, and then go Edit Paste. So that's one way of going about getting artwork from different pieces into new movie clips, and just copying and pasting. Again, let's go back to our main. If we look at the library, you'll notice what has happened and what has been imported here. You'll see my background graphics is my entire background that you saw there before. And so what I'm going to do a little bit later will be animate these graphics, but for right now, you get an idea, and you'll see what it does inside of here. It takes each one of them and makes them into separate symbols also, so you can see them here. So as you import them, it does make them as separate symbols inside of the library that you could use later on, as you can see. Or it actually has them all together in one symbol, like you saw here, the background graphics. So I get to take that background graphics, and I could simply go over here, and if I could move my windows around here a little bit. Make my window a little bit smaller here. So here's my file with a 640 by 480 pixels. I could take my background graphic and put it onto the screen here, and then I could start working and building my site. So this is a way that you can bring Illustrator files right into Flash, and they're already vector, ready to animate, and ready to go.